Good morning, friends. Now in this presentation, we are going to discuss about one of the important rule as far as the safety is concerned, that is called as safety audit rule, and which is applicable to the state of Maharashtra. That is Maharashtra Factories Safety Audit Rule 2014. With reference to the published notification dated 24th Feb 2014, this rule is published for all the industries and for all the common people. So what exactly the rule is, and in addition to this rule, there is one amendment also in 2017. So this rule is published or prepared with reference to the section 112 and section 115 read with section 41 of the Factory Act 1948. So the main references for this rule is section 112 and 115. And in addition to that, the section 23 of the General Clauses Act 1897. So these are the main two references, that is Factory Act 1948 and General Clauses Act 1897. This rule and notification is published by the government and the department, that is Industries, Energy and Labor Department, in 2014. So in addition to 2014 rule, there is one amendment that is called as First Amendment, and the rule is called as the Maharashtra Factories Safety Audit First Amendment Rule 2017. So after notification or publication of this notification in 2014, the rule is now becomes the Maharashtra Factories Safety Audit First Amendment Rule 2017. The main change with this amendment is the title and some of the contents. So the amendment is related to the section 41 read with section 112 and 115 and mainly with the subsection 1 of section 115. So the main change is the title. Now the Maharashtra Factory Safety Audit Rule 2014 becomes the principal rules. So the first rule, which is published in 2014, now it becomes the principal rules, and after first amendment in 2017, the rule is called as the Maharashtra Factories Safety Audit First Amendment Rule 2017. Now there are some other changes, we will discuss it later on. Now we will discuss the basic Maharashtra Factory Safety Audit Rule 2014 one by one. So this is the rule number 1. This rule is applicable to the manufacturing process which involves use, storage, handling or processing of toxic or highly inflammable or explosive or hazardous chemicals, or wherein such toxic or highly inflammable or explosive substances are likely to be generated or given out or carried out. So if your company, if your factory is manufacturing or handling or storing or using these types of chemicals, so the nature or the characteristics of chemical may be a toxic nature or inflammable or explosive or hazardous. So we have already discussed all these types of chemicals and their characteristics, like LC50 value, lethal concentration, LD50 value, lethal dose, or what exactly the flammability is, that is lower explosive limit, upper explosive limit. Then we have also discussed about the flash point, fire point, etc. And on the basis of these types of properties, we can define these chemicals as a toxic or inflammable or explosive or hazardous. And in a similar way, if your factory is handling the hazardous processes, which is listed in the first schedule of the Factory Act 1948 with reference to the section 2CB. So in the Factory Act 1948, the section 2CB clearly defines what exactly the hazardous substances are and what exactly the hazardous process is. So 29 factories, that is 29 processes, are listed in this hazardous process list, which is clearly mentioned in the first schedule. If your factory is running these types of processes, that is hazardous processes, then also this safety audit rule is applicable for your company. Then third one is, if it is applicable to all the companies or the factories which are employing more than 250 workers. Suppose your factory or a company is not handling these types of chemicals, or if it is not listed in the hazardous processes, but if your company is having more than 250 workers, then also this safety audit rule is applicable. So this is the first rule of this safety audit rule 2040, which is clearly giving us the idea where it is applicable. Then the second rule of the safety audit rule 2014 gives us the different or various definitions like act, chief inspector, degree, diploma, form, government, etc. So act means the main reference is Factory Act 1948 and it is applicable to state of Maharashtra as it is the Maharashtra factories safety audit rule 2040. So the act mainly refers to the Factory Act 1948, which is applicable to the state of Maharashtra. Then the chief inspector means the person who is appointed by the state government. Now in this case, if it is the Maharashtra state, then Maharashtra state government is going to appoint a person who is eligible, qualified and experienced person in that field, who can call it as chief inspector. And the reference for this chief inspector appointment is subsection 2 of section 8 of the act. So the act means the 1948 Factory Act. Then degree means the degree of a statutory university. The diploma means a diploma awarded by the statutory university or recognized institutions. So normally the degree will be awarded by the AICTE, UGC, private, etc. universities, and the diplomas are awarded by the Board of Technical Education. Then form means a form appended to these rules. So in this case, in the safety rule, form A, form B and form C are the forms available in this rule. The government or the state government means the government of Maharashtra, as the rule is Maharashtra Factory Rule 2014. So the government or the state government word means the Maharashtra state government. Then safety audit means a systematic, objective and document evaluation of the occupational safety and health systems and procedures in a factory. So whatever the procedures you are following, you are running, you have prepared in your factory, which is mainly related to the occupational safety and health. So all these procedures, the documents which involved in that procedures, the practices, the displays, the mock drills, some practices, etc. All these things are going to verify in the safety audit. Then the safety auditor means a person who is going to verify all these things. That is called as safety auditor. So as per rule 5, the safety auditor is going to carry out the safety audit and include the safety auditors mentioned in sub rule 3 of rule 5. So we will discuss what exactly the safety auditor is, what exactly the qualification or minimum criteria for the safety auditor designation, and what are their duties and responsibilities of this safety auditor is. We will discuss this in rule 5. Then schedule means a schedule appended to these rules. So there are 2 schedules in this safety audit rule, schedule 1 and schedule 2. Then section means the section of this act. So in this safety audit rule, there are 11 sections. Hazardous chemicals means any chemical as defined in sub rule of Rule 2 of Maharashtra Factories SEMA Rule 2003. SEMA Rule means Control of Industrial Major Accident Hazard Rule. So in this SEMA Rule 2003, under Rule 2A, hazardous chemical is defined. Then institutions means a firm, association, body, corporate, society, or a trust, whether registered in accordance with the law for the time being, force or not, and dealing mainly with the object of ensuring safety and health of workers engaged in the factories. So the firms, associations, or any society or trust who are going to concern or ensure about the safety and health of workers, and those are registered one, that is called as institutions. Then 2 words or expression used but not defined herein shall have their respective meanings as assigned to them in the act or rules made thereunder. So the general wording are having the general meaning and the regular meaning in the safety audit rule 2014. Then the rule number 3 is related to the frequency of these safety audits. The occupier of a class of factory mentioned in sub rule 2 of rule 1 shall arrange to carry out the safety audit to supplement the provisions of chapter 4 of the said act as a measure for securing the safety of persons employed therein the following manner namely. So we have to conduct the safety audit with reference to this rule 1, 2 and chapter 4 compulsory, mandatory for the companies, which is clearly mentioned in the rule number 1. But the safety audit frequency is like that. That is 1 internal safety audit once in a year by a team of plant personnel. So we have to design, we have to discuss and finalize the members of a committee who are going to conduct this safety audit internally. It means the plant persons or the factory persons only are going to conduct this safety audit. That is called as internal safety audit. And the frequency is once in a year by a team of that factory only. Right? And the another audit is called as external safety audit. So the frequency of this external safety audit is once in 2 years by the safety auditor. Now this safety auditor is a external person, and that is why it is called as external safety audit. So the qualification, eligibility and the responsibilities of this safety auditor are given in this safety auditor rule. In rule 5 we will discuss it later on, but now it is clearly mentioned that the frequency of internal safety audit is once in a year and the frequency of external safety audit is once in 2 years, provided that in the year when an external audit is carried out, it shall not be necessary to carry out an internal audit. So if you are conducting the external audit in 2020, then it is not necessary to carry out the internal audit in 2020. You can conduct it in 2021 or in 2019. Provided further, in the case of any changes, total or partial in the manufacturing process. So if you are going to change some process, if you are going to change some equipments, if you are going to change some parameters like pressure, temperature, flow rate or chemicals or the properties of chemical, etc., then you have to go for safety audit again. So the occupier shall within 1 month prior to such change carry out the safety audit externally. So when your company or the factory is going to change some process equipment, some process flow charts, some design, some chemicals, etc., then it is mandatory to go for the external safety audit within 1 month prior to such change. That is the necessary condition in rule number 3. Then rule number 4 is related to the standard from which we are going to conduct this safety audit. So this safety audit shall be carried out as per the standard IS 14489-1998, which is the Indian Standard Code of Practice on Occupational Safety and Health Audit. So we have discussed all these details of this IS 14489-1998 in one of the video. You can go through these IS 14489-1998 guidelines from that video. So this is the compulsory condition that the safety audit should be conducted as per the standard IS 14489-1998, and the details of this requirement is given in the schedule 1 as a safety auditor. So what exactly the qualification, experience and other requirements of this safety auditor who is going to conduct this safety audit as per IS 14498 is given in schedule 1. So one of the schedule is clearly mentioning the qualification, experience and other requirements of the safety auditor. Then rule number 5, it is clearly giving us the idea regarding the qualification, experience, other requirement and some exceptional cases. So what exactly it is? It is mainly related to the safety auditor. The state government may recognize any person possessing the qualification, experience and other requirement as set out in the schedule 1 here too as a safety auditor for the purpose of carrying out the safety audit. So who is going to conduct the safety audit is called as safety auditor, which is clearly mentioned in the schedule 1, and the appointment is done by the state government, that is Maharashtra state government. The state government may recognize any institutions employing at least 3 persons possessing the qualifications, experience and other requirement as set out in the schedule 1 as a safety auditor. So the safety auditor designation and the application for the safety auditor designation can be applied by an individual or can be applied by the institution. So from this rule you can understand institution can also apply for this safety auditor designation, and one institution can designate at least 3 persons as a safety auditor, provided that where the institution to which such recognition has been granted ceases to employ at least 3 persons possessing this qualification, experience and other requirements. So that institution responsibility is to check the qualification, experience and other requirement which is given in the schedule 1 for that persons who is going to apply for the safety auditor post. Provided further that the state government may, for reasons to be recorded in writing, relax the requirement of qualification if such institute is exceptionally specialized in the field of carrying out safety audit for not less than 5 years. So if some issue is there related to the qualification, experience or other requirement as far as the safety auditor post is concerned, but the institution reputation is good, if it is specialized in that safety audit field, if they are conducting the safety audit from many years, at least from last 5 years, then there may be a exceptional case regarding this qualification, experience and other requirement as far as the schedule 1 is concerned. Then DG Fastly, that is Director General, Factory Advice Services and Labor Institute. Then NSC, that is National Safety Council, or an officer having working experience not less than 15 years in the office of DG Fastly or NSC, or DISH, means Directorate of Industrial Safety and Health, Maharashtra State, not below the rank of Deputy Director, shall be deemed to be safety auditor. So this is one of the separate condition that is under rule number 5 sub rule 3, that if the person is from DG Fastly or NSC or DISH and having the experience that is more than 15 years and not below the rank of deputy director, then the person can be appointed as a safety auditor for conducting these types of safety audits. Then sub rule 4 is The state government may from time to time fix the total number. So there is no clear-cut guidelines that this much number is required as a safety auditor for this region, for this MIDC, for this state, etc. So that depends on the conditions of that state, depends on the conditions or the number of the factory who are handling or which are handling the hazardous process, which are having the more than 250 workers or which are handling the toxic, hazardous or flammable and explosive chemicals. So if that number is going to increase, if the hazards are going to increase, then the number may increase. So depending on the requirement, depending on the condition, state government is going to decide the number of safety officers requirement. Then the rule number 6 is related to the renewal of the certificate, that is for the safety auditor. So an application for grant or renewal of certificate of recognition as a safety auditor for carrying out safety audit shall be made to the chief inspector. So we have already discussed about the minimum qualification, experience and other requirement as per the schedule 1 and some exceptional cases. And if you are going to apply for this post, that is as a safety auditor, or if you are already a safety auditor and the expiry of that safety auditor certificate is near, then you can go for the renewal of the certificate. So by an individual, you can apply for the granting of the certificate or the renewal of the certificate in Form A. So all the details are given in the Form A. We will discuss Form A later on. Then if the institute is going to apply as for granting or for renewal of this certificate as a safety auditor, then you can go for the Form B. So this Form E is related to the application for granting or renewal of the certificate as a safety auditor as an individual, and this Form B is related to the application for granting or renewal of the certificate as a safety auditor as an institution. Then on receipt of this application by the DISH office or by the chief inspector, they are going to scrutinize these applications. They are going to cross verify or check the contents of this application. That may be in the Form A, that may be in the Form B, and within 30 days they are going to decide or they are going to give the result of this application, whether this application is going to grant or whether it is going to reject. If the application is going to reject by the chief inspector, then the chief inspector should mention the reasons or the causes for rejection of that application. That may be in the Form A, that may be in the Form B. So the rejection or acceptance of this application within 30 days. Then 6(2)(b) for giving an approval to the applicant as a safety auditor. So chief inspector or the state government may appoint different members for verification, for scrutinization of this application. If the number of applications are more, that may be in terms of Form A or Form B. So for the acceptance, for the rejections, whatever the activities are going to conduct under this chief inspector or under the state government, then the committee can be appointed by the state government with reference to the 6(2)(b). Then chief inspector may decide the final rejection or acceptance of that applications, and the criteria may extend up to the 45 days rather than the 30 days, depending on the conditions, depending on the number of applications. So that is the final authority of the state government and that chief inspector which is appointed by the state government. Then after the state government grants approval to the application as a safety auditor, the chief inspector shall issue a certificate of recognition in Form C. Now it is Form C. So Form A is related to the application for granting or renewal of the certificate as an individual. Form B is related to the application for granting and renewal of the certificate as a safety auditor as an institution, and this Form C is related to the certificate of recognition within 15 days subject to the following conditions. So the chief inspector or the state government is going to give the granting or the renewal of that certificate, and that certificate is in the Form C. The applications are in the Form A and B, and certificate is in the Form C, but with the following conditions. What are that conditions? The first condition is safety auditor shall maintain a logbook. So safety auditor should maintain a logbook with the details, that is the name and address of the audited factory, name of the person who has carried out safety audit, contact persons, date of audit, date of submission of that audit report to the occupier. It shall be produced as and when required by the officers of the DISH, that is Director of Industrial Safety and Health. So we have to maintain all these details or the data in that logbook. That is first condition. The second condition is safety auditor and the person authorized to carry out shall not conduct a safety audit of an factory where such auditor or person is employed or an occupier, partner, director or manager of that factory, or of any factory owned, operated, managed or conducted by immediate family members. If the safety auditor is relative or the family members or close to that occupier, or maybe close to the partner of that companies or the director or the manager, then that safety audit should not be conducted by person. That is second condition. Then third condition is safety auditor and the persons authorized to carry out the safety audit shall not disclose any type of information, especially the information which is directly related to the processes, or it may be related to the raw materials which are involved or ingredients involved in that process, which is called as confidential data by the industry. So whatever the information which is collected or observed by the safety auditor while conducting the safety audit shall not disclose to anyone. If it is the case, if the safety auditor is going to disclose this information, or this confidential information is going to use by safety auditor or by other persons through this safety auditor, then it may be acts as a criminal or civil proceedings. So we have to take care about this disclosure of the information. So the safety auditor should not disclose any type of information which is gained or collected while conducting the safety audit. So these are some of the conditions while giving the certificate as a renewal or the fresh certificate as a recognition as a safety auditor in terms of Form C. Then the recognition granted under sub rule 2, that is with respect to that condition, shall be valid for 3 years. So that Form C, that is the granting or the renewal of the certificate as a safety auditor, is applicable for 3 years from the date of issue of that certificate of recognition. Then the application for renewal of recognition as a safety auditor should be made at least 3 months before of the expiry. So if you are want to renew that certificate, then you should go for the application, that may be in terms of Form A or B, that may be as an individual or maybe as an institution, before the 3 months of the expiry of that certificate C, and with mutatis and mutandis for its renewal. So this mutatis and mutandis is a medieval Latin phrase meaning with things change, that should be changed, or having changed, what needs to be changed. So whatever the changes are done in that factory, or whatever the changes you have to made, that all the content should be modified rectified, and then only you have to go for the renewal of this certificate. The applicant shall not be eligible for renewal of recognition as a safety auditor if the state government has revoked such recognition in the past on 2 occasions. So if the application is already rejected 2 times by the state government or by the chief inspector, then the applicant is not eligible for the renewal of the application. Then he has not carried out at least 3 safety audits of factories in past 2 years. Suppose if the safety auditor certificate is granted to that person or to that institution, but they haven't conducted the at least 3 safety audits in last 2 years, then also the institution or the person is not eligible for the renewal of the application. Now, these highlighted points are nothing but the amended points. That is, these points are added with reference to the 2017 First Amendment. So, from this rule number 6 under sub rule 5, and then first and second conditions are as per the rule number 2014, that is the Maharashtra Factory Safety Audit Rule 2014. Now, from this third point, that is indicated by this square bracket and highlighted area, that is the part of Maharashtra Factory Safety Audit First Amendment Rule 2017. So what points or which points are added in the 2017 amendments? We will discuss. So the condition for not eligibility, he has obtained less than 70% marks in the performance appraisal regarding his eligibility assessed and scrutinized by the additional or joint director on the following points. The report which is sent to the director. So joint director or additional director is going to scrutinize the performance of the safety auditor with reference to this third point. So what is that point? If the performance appraisal marks are less than 70%, then the safety auditor is not eligible for the renewable. So how these 70% are calculated? So that is depend on the following conditions. So there are 10 points listed under this third point, which is the sub rule of main rule 6 and sub rule 5, right? So 1 point each is having 1 marks weightage, and there are 10 points, it means 10 marks. So out of 10 marks, you should get at least 7 marks. So if your marks less than 7 out of 10, that is nothing but the less than 70% marks, then you are not eligible for renewal of the certification as a safety auditor. That is the conditions, and that is the amendment in the 2017. So what are that conditions? First condition, is there any complaint regarding safety audit from management or workers? So if there is a complaint, then the marks, that is 0 out of 1. If there is no complaint, then 1 by 1. Then is any complaint about the integrity of the safety auditor, whether he has disclosed the information or not, whether he has given the knowledge or passing that knowledge or information or confidential information to other, or whether he is cooperative with the management and workers and all that. If the integrity is okay, then the marks are okay. Whether any fatal accident or dangerous occurrence took place in the factory in which there is a loss of life or property, or both within a period of 1 year from the date of audit. So after completion of the safety audit, within 1 year, if there is an fatal accident or dangerous occurrences, then the marks is 0 instead of 1. Then whether the safety auditor is have timely submission or given the intimation of safety audit to be carried out, the safety audit report to the occupier, the safety audit report to the concerned office of the directorate, or any intimation of hazards posing dangers observed during the safety audit. So all this information under the safety audit report should be given to the concerned office, to the dish, the occupier, and the concerned person of that industries. So the intimation of the safety audit that I'm going to conduct this safety audit from this date or within that range, or the tentative schedule is like that. That is nothing but the intimation of safety audit. The safety audit report means I have observed all these things in that particular department, or the hazards or the corrective action and preventive action for these points are needed in this area. Whatever all these contents are under the safety audit report, and all these safety audit report in hard as well as in the soft copy should be submitted to the dish office and to the occupier. Is there violation of any conditions stipulated in the certificate of recognition as a safety auditor? If there is a violation, then the marks is 0. Is there any discrepancies found between the details mentioned in the safety audit report and the actual facts found by the officer of the director, then also there is a 0 mark. So if there is availability of the personal protective equipment, and if in the report there is mentioned that by the safety auditor that the PPEs are not available, or if there is a precautionary measures taken by the industries for that particular work, like hot work or cold work or confined spaces or etc. And if the safety auditor is saying that there is no precautionary measures or safety measures taken for these confined spaces or critical cases, then that is called as discrepancy. And if this discrepancy is observed by the directorate or directorate's officers, then the marks is 0 instead of 1. Status of the health and fitness of the safety auditor. So safety auditor must have the fitness certificate by the certifying surgeon or the representative of the certifying surgeon. Whether the safety auditor disclose any information relating to any manufacturing, commercial business, secret or any process secret which came to his knowledge during safety audits. So we have already discussed that safety auditor should not disclose any type of information to the persons, to the close relatives or to the family members, etc. If it is the case, then the mark is 0 instead of 1. Whether the safety audit has been produced before the safety committee or where the provisions of the safety committee are not applicable, the recommendations and suggestions mentioned in safety audit are displayed in the safety in the factory. So whether the safety audit report has been produced or not before the safety committee, that is another conditions, and whether the recommendations for some corrective actions, for the modification, for the rectifications, or some ideas like suggestions are given in that report, whether it is done or not. Whether the chief inspector is of the opinion that the performance of the safety auditor is not satisfactory. If so, state the grounds as he may think fit. So depending on the chief inspector's satisfaction, the 1 mark is decided. So these are the 10 points. So this is the 10-point criteria which is added with reference to the first amendment in 2017, and each point is having 1 mark weightage. So the safety auditor's renewal criteria is that minimum 70% marks, that is minimum 7 marks out of 10 should be gained by that safety officer. Then 6.6, the state government may, after giving the opportunity to the safety auditor of being heard, revoke the certificate of recognition if it has a reason to believe that a safety auditor has violated any of the condition stipulated in the certificate. The safety auditor has carried out the safety audit in violation of the provisions of this act, or these rules, or has acted in a manner consistent with the intent of the purpose of this act or rule, thereunder has omitted or failed to act as required under this act or rule. So if the safety auditor is going to violate any type of condition which is clearly mentioned in the certificate, or the rules and regulations or the guidelines which is clearly mentioned under these criteria, then state government or the chief inspector may cancel his certificate. The one point is added with reference to the amendment which is done in 2017, which is highlighted here. That is 2A. The work of safety auditor is found unsatisfactory and the chief inspector has issued warning notice to such auditor on 2 occasions. So if the performance of that safety auditor is not satisfactory as far as the chief inspector's opinion, and if the chief inspector has already issued the warning notice twice to that safety auditor, then also the certificate of that safety auditor can be cancelled. And third point, for any other like reason. So if there are some reasons which are like the point 1, 2, 3, which is clearly mentioned under the rule 6 of 6, and the decision is with the chief inspector and the state government. Then rule number 7 is related to the occupier of the factory as well as the safety auditor shall inform in writing to the concerned office of DISH 15 days in advance before commencement of the safety audit. So that is called as intimation of the safety audit. So this intimation of the safety audit by the safety auditor shall be given to the DISH office within or before 15 days in advance. That is 7th rule. 8th rule is the safety auditor shall within 1 month from the date of completion of safety audit forward to the occupier. So if the safety audit is completed, so that safety auditor shall forward this safety audit report within 1 month to the occupier, and the safety audit report pro forma is given under schedule 2. Right? So we have discussed about these 2 schedules and 3 forms. So form A is related to the application or grant or the renewal of the certificate as a safety auditor. That is form A as an individual. If the form B is there, that is the application or grant of renewal of certificate as a safety auditor as an institution, and form C is the certificate for granting the application as a safety auditor. Then schedule 1 is related to the qualification, experience and other requirement which is mentioned under schedule 1. Now schedule 2 is there, that is nothing but the contents of the pro forma which is prescribed for the safety audit report. Provided that if during safety audit, auditor finds any hazards posing danger of causing an accident, he shall immediately communicate in writing to the occupier as well as inspector concerned. In such cases, the occupier in such case shall take immediate corrective action. So after the audit also, if he finds some specific hazard, some special hazards, or the level of hazard is at higher, that is called as hazard posing danger, then the safety auditor's responsibility is that he should communicate immediately to the occupier, he should communicate to the factory inspector or the DISH officers that this company or this factory is having these types of hazards which are posing the danger, and the safety auditor should also suggest or recommend some corrective actions for reducing these hazards or the seriousness of these hazards. Then rule number 9. So that is related to the schedule 2 and safety audit reports. The occupier shall within 30 days of the receipt of the safety audit report in pro forma prescribed under schedule 2 forward the same to the concerned office of DISH with the action taken report in pursuant to the recommendations made in the safety audit reports. So the responsibility of the safety auditor is that after conducting the safety audit, he should give or submit the report to the occupier in detail regarding the contents, regarding the hazards, regarding the different points that may be preventive action, corrective actions, recommendations, suggestions, etc. to the occupier, and after submission of that safety audit report by the safety auditor to occupier, it's responsibility of the occupier that they should conduct the or actions whatever the given or the recommendations given by that safety auditor, and after completing or after satisfying the points which is raised by the safety auditor, and that report that is called as corrected or modified or rectified report should be submitted to the DISH office, that is called as action taken report, within 30 days. Then rule number 10 is related to the re-audit condition. So after completing the safety audit, after submission of the safety audit report by the safety auditor to the occupier, and after the submission of the action taken report by the occupier to the DISH office, if it is found that the safety audit is not carried out in accordance with the rule number 4 by the chief inspector or the by directorate officers or the DISH officers, then re-audit should be carried out to inspect to the discrepancies which is pointed out by the officers or the chief inspector. So if there are some discrepancies observed by the chief inspector or the DISH officers, then they can carry out the re-audit within 30 days after the observations, and with reference to the rule number 4, 8 and 9 shall apply to such mutatis and mutandis apply to such re-audits. It means whatever the changes observed by the chief inspector or the DISH officers, whatever the changes that should be needed in that report, needed in the action taken report, or needed at the factory level. So all these contents should be included in that re-audit, which is clearly mentioned in the rule number 10. Then this 10A is again a recommendation, that is first amendment 2017 highlighted area. If an accident involving the major accident, then the chief inspector or the DISH officers are going to conduct a re-audit with reference to the SEMA rule. So if there is a major accident, so major accident is covered under the rule number 2C of SEMA rule 2003, and that is why this re-audit condition is there by the 10A rule, which is modified or recommended or amended point. Then 11 is related to the exemptions. So subject to the provisions of sub rule 2, the state government may, by order in writing, exempt any factory or category of factories from all or any of the provisions of this rule, subject to such conditions as it may specify in such order. No order sub rule 1 shall be issued unless the opinion of the state government, the requirements of these rules having regard to the frequency or the nature of manufacturing process carried out in the factory, which involves use, storage, handling or processing of hazardous chemicals, or which involves the generation of such substances, are impracticable or otherwise not necessary for the safety, health and protection of these workers. So depending on the condition, after validation or cross verification or scrutinization of these conditions, chief inspector or the DISH officers are going to decide whether this factory is going to exempt for the safety auditor or not. So that is rule 11. So these are the rule 11 which is considered in the safety audit rule 2004, and now it is a schedule 1. So we have discussed already in the rule 5 that there is a specific criteria for the safety auditor post, that is qualification, experience and other requirements for the safety auditor. So what are that requirement? Now we will discuss. So the first point is in the schedule 1 is academic qualification experience. So minimum qualification, that is academic qualification and experience required for the safety auditor post is the degree in branch of chemical, mechanical, electrical or production engineering, and having 5 years experience in manufacturing, maintenance, design, project or safety department in the supervisory or above capacity in the factories. So this is the first condition, that the person must possess the degree in chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical or production engineering with 5 years experience. The second condition is, that is OR condition, diploma in branch of chemical, mechanical, electrical or production engineering having 7 years experience in manufacturing, maintenance, design, project or safety department. It means the person who is having degree in these branches of engineering must possess 5 years experience, and if the person is having diploma only in this branch of engineering must possess 7 years experience in the respective fields, or the degree of Bachelor of Science with physics and or chemistry and having 10 years experience in manufacturing or safety department of any factory in the supervisory or above capacity in the factories. So this is the minimum academic qualification and experience criteria, that is degree in these branches of engineering plus 5 years experience, or diploma in these branches of engineering plus 7 years experience, or degree in science with 10 years experience, and 1 year full-time diploma in industrial safety recognized by the Board of Technical Education. So this is one of the condition, that is degree or diploma or BSc, and 1 year diploma in industrial safety is essential condition, that is from the recognized Board of Technical Education. So say for example, the Board of Technical Education in the Maharashtra is Maharashtra State Board of Technical Education. So under MSBT there are some government, semi-government, autonomous or private institutions who are running or conducting this diploma in industrial safety, and the diploma is called as advanced diploma in industrial safety, or the AICT recognized universities. So there may be some course which is recognized by the AICT, that is All India Council of Technical Education, which is the apex body in the India as far as the technical education is concerned, or recognized university, that is UGC approved university or AICT approved universities, or degree or diploma in any branch of engineering and having 15 years of experience in factory inspector or director of industrial safety and health, or 5 years experience in the DG FASTLI, that is Director General Factory Advisory Services and Labor Institutes, or RAL Institutes or NSC, that is Regional Labor Institute or National Safety Council in the capacity of Assistant Director or above. So if the candidate is not possessing or not possess this diploma in industrial safety, then he must be having the experience in the factory inspectorate or dish office for 15 years, or he should possess experience of at least 5 years in the DG FASTLI or NSC office not below the rank of assistant director. That is the basic criteria for the safety auditor as far as this qualification and experience is concerned. Then the applicant shall not be directly or indirectly interested in the factory or in any process or business carried on therein, or in patent or machine connected therewith, in respect of which the safety audit is to be conducted. So the applicant should not be interested in that factory, in that process, in that business, etc. That is the second condition for this safety auditor. The third condition is that if the age of applicant is more than 62 years, he shall submit a certificate of physical fitness for carrying out these types of safety audit issued by the civil surgeon or certifying surgeon along with the applications. So that is the specific condition when the applicant's age is more than 62 years. So this is regarding the qualification, experience and other requirement for the safety auditor with reference to the rule number 5 and mentioned in the schedule 1. Now it is schedule 2 with reference to the rule number 8 and 9, the pro forma for safety audit report. So we have already discussed that the safety auditor must submit the safety audit report to the occupier and to the dish office within the 30 days after conduction of the safety audit, and the pro forma or the contents are mentioned in this schedule 2. So the contents are name and address of the factory, name of the occupier, date of audit, list of raw material with maximum storage quantity, list of finished products with maximum storage quantity, manufacturing process flowchart, PI diagram, that is process instrumentation diagram of all plants. It means the process which is involved in that factory, especially when we are talking about the chemical factories or the chemical process. So all these factories and these processes are having approximate 35% weightage of pipelines only. So whatever the pipelines which are carrying these types of chemicals, that may be in terms of liquids, that may be in terms of gases or vapors, etc. So all these pipelines, their I standards, their color coding, their technical specification like thickness, the length, matter of construction, etc. All these are included in this PI diagram, that is process instrumentation diagrams. So this PI diagram clearly gives us the idea how exactly the process flows from the raw material to the finished product. So there are different types of equipments which are involved in this process flow sheet, and the parameters like pressure, temperature, flow rate, etc. and the instrumentation which are going to indicate, which are going to control all these parameters are connected to these equipments which are involved in this process. All these things are reflected in this process instrumentation diagram. So that is one of the important diagram as far as the chemical factories are concerned. Then name of the safety auditor and certificate number, name of the person who has carried out safety audit, whether enclosed safety audit report is as per IS 14489 or not. So there is one guideline clearly mentioning that the safety audit should be conducted as per the guidelines which is mentioned under Indian standards, that is IS 14489. So whatever the guidelines given under these IS 14489 1998 should be followed, and all these contents are nothing but the pro forma for these safety audit reports. Then finally, the signature of that safety auditors, person or employee of an institution authorized to carry out the safety audit, and the occupier undertaking, that occupier to submit the action taken report or recommendation of the safety audit on or before this date. So in one of the rule clearly mentioning that the occupier should submit the action taken report to the dish office within 30 days after the conduction of this safety auditor. So this undertaking is also signed by the occupier under this schedule 2, that is pro forma for safety audit report. So these are the two schedules under the safety auditor rule, and now you see it is a form A. So we have already discussed form A. What is form A? It is application form for recognition or renewal of recognition of safety auditor to be filled by an individual. So form A is related to the individual applicant for the safety auditor. So applicant's latest photograph should be sticked or attached in this form A and should be signed by that applicant. Then the contents like name, father or husband name, date of birth, age, permanent address, address for correspondence, telephone number, mobile number, fax and email, etc. should be included in the form A. Then the email, educational qualification, attach certified copies. So we have already mentioned that if the applicant is having the degree in electrical, production, mechanical or chemical branch with 5 years experience plus advanced diploma in industrial safety or the diploma in industrial safety by the AICTE or statutory university recognition, then he is eligible for this safety auditor post. So for that purpose, we have to check this degree or diploma or these college, institution, universities and the year of completions. Because after the year of completion, he should possess at least 5 years experience if he is having degree and 7 years experience if he is having diploma. And if he is possessing the BSc, then he must have the 10 years experience in that area, which is mentioned under the rule 6. Then technical qualification in safety, attach certified copies, that is degree or diploma, that is degree or diploma in industrial safety or advanced diploma in industrial safety or diploma in industrial safety by CLI, that is Central Labor Institute, or RLI, Regional Labor Institutes, or by the private universities or private institutes, semi-government, autonomous or government institutes. Then work experience, which is already mentioned, that may be of 5 years minimum or 7 years minimum or 10 years minimum, depending on the degree or diploma or BSc respectively. Then for renewal of recognition, certificate number and date, because the applicant should apply this form A before the 30 days of the expiry of the previous certificate. Then the declaration by that applicant that I hereby declare that my recognition as a safety auditor was not revoked or cancelled by the state government in the past 1 year, 2 year, etc. My recognition as a safety auditor was revoked or cancelled in the past, and its details are as follows. So there is one condition: if the state government or chief inspector cancelled your certificate 2 times in last 2 years, then you are not eligible for the application. That is why these details are included in this form A, that is date of revocation or cancellation and its order number, etc. If any. If there is no revocation or cancellation, then it is blank. If it is there, then that period should be mentioned. If the recognition was cancelled or revoked twice in the past safety auditor, he is not eligible for the recognition. We have already discussed this point. I have carried out 3 or more than 3. That is one of the point that in the amendment also it is clearly mentioned that safety auditor should conduct at least 3 audits in last 2 years. Then the applicant should hereby declare that the information furnished about the correct to the best of my knowledge, and I undertake to maintain the facilities in good working order and fulfill the abide by the conditions, if any, stipulated in the certificate of recognitions. So all these points, that is ABCD under this declaration, are mentioned with reference to the Safety Audit Rule 2014, and this is the amendment that is under 2017. That is point E. I also undertake to not to disclose as recognized safety officer, auditor, or after ceasing to be recognized safety auditor, any manufacturing or commercial secrets or working processes or other confidential information which may come to my knowledge in the course of my duties as an auditor, and any failure in this regard may make me liable for criminal or civil proceedings in accordance with the provisions of the law for the time being in force or any rules made thereunder. So this is the amended point in the 2017, which is also discussed in that rule, and now it is in the form A as a declaration point number E. Even after the retirement, even after the person's resignations as a safety auditor, he should not uh, disclose any type of commercial or business or confidential information to the society or to the public or to the family persons, etc. And then signature of the applicant, date and place. So this is form A contents. Now it is form B, which is related to the rule number 6.1, that is for form of application for recognition or recognition to an institution. Now it is related to the institutions as a safety auditor. So the contents are similar, that is name and full address of the institution now instead of individual, institution status, name of head of institution, phone number, mobile number, email address, fax, whether the institution has been declared as a safety auditor by the state or any other state. If so, give the details. Attach biodata of at least 3 employed persons in the annexure attached to the application, any other relevant information, certificate number, and then declaration. So I hereby declare that recognition of this institution as a safety auditor was not revoked or cancelled by the state government, or the recognition of the institution safety auditor was revoked and cancelled, and the details are given in this table. That is the period from 2. Then form of application for recognition for this safety auditor institution. The contents are like, so if the cancellation or revocation is there twice in a past, the institution is not eligible for the application, and other things are similar one which is mentioned under the form A. So you can go through these points which is similar to the form A points. Then form C. So that is related to the rule number 6.2D, that is certificate of recognition or renewal of recognition as a safety auditor. So after submission of form A or form B by the individual or by the institution respectively, then it's responsibility of the chief inspectorate or the DISH officers to reject or to accept this applicant, and they have to give the certificate of recognition if the acceptance is there in the format that is form C. So what are the contents of this format C? Certificate number, MS Maharashtra State, DISH means Department of Industrial Safety and Health, SA means Safety Auditor. So this is the Safety Auditor resignation, recognition from the DISH office and in the Maharashtra State. So that number is there, certificate number, and the date is there. It is to inform that Ms., Mrs., Shri, etc. Then address has been recognized, renewed the recognition as a safety auditor by the state government, via letter number this, dated this, for the purpose of carrying out safety auditor under Maharashtra Factory Safety Audit Rule 2014. The certificate is valid from this to this, This certificate is issued subject to the conditions stipulated thereunder. So there are some conditions for recognition as a safety auditor. So we have already discussed these conditions in the rule number 6.2. That is, safety audit shall be carried out in accordance with the provision of the Maharashtra Factory Safety Auditor Rule 2014. Every safety audit shall conform to the IS 14489. He or the person authorized in case of institution carried out safety audit rule shall be physically present at the time of safety audit. Then certificate number and validity period should be invariably recorded on safety audit report. No safety audit shall be carried out after expiry of the validity report. State government reserves the right to revoke, annul or amend this certificate time to time. He or the person authorized in case of institution to carry out safety audit shall not conduct safety audit if the person or the institution is revoke or cancel the recognition as a safety auditor, and the person should not disclose any type of information while conducted or after completing the safety auditor. So the application of renewal of the recognition as a safety auditor shall be made at least 3 months before the expiry of the period of the recognition. So all these are the conditions for the certificate of recognition as a safety auditor. So these are the different contents of this Maharashtra Factories Safety Audit Rule 2014 and the Maharashtra Factory Safety Audit Rule First Amendment 2017. So there are 11 rules under the Safety Audit Rule 2014. There are 2 schedules, that is Schedule 1 and 2, and there are 3 forms, that is Form A, B and C. Thank you.